Good afternoon and welcome inside the Wayne Gretzky Sports Center. Another Saturday afternoon in Brantford. I'm Reese Dumaney. Glad to have you along with us. The Brantford Titans play their second last home game of the regular season before things flip to the month of March and to the 2026 GOHL playoffs. It's the Welland Junior Canadians in town. Looking to play spoiler today. Titans looking to get a little bit closer to cementing themselves as the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference. As we get play underway, it'll get sent all the way around. The Junior Canadians goaltender Alex Hall able to play it. This is game number 11 for him. He is 1-8 on the season, a .681 goals against average and an .864 save percentage. Bandu quickly ahead. That's off of Capel's stick into the offensive zone. Morrison will send it all the way around. Bandu will race there to try and keep the puck alive. Own to a knee. Here's Capel, top of the slot. His shot off a stick and in behind. Bandu deep in the offensive zone, dropped it back. Here's Papel getting it from Capel. Up top, Glowacki all the way across. Bandu trying to settle the puck down in the corner. He threw it to the middle, but nobody in black was home. Clearing attempt got blocked. Second try, that is off of Gauthier. Welcome back to the lineup. Number 20 in black and gold. Titans falling in a hard-fought battle against the Cambridge Redhawks here on Thursday. It was 3-0 very, very early in favor of Cambridge, but the Titans able to claw their way back, make it 3-3. Fell behind 4-3, but then 4-4 got them to overtime, and then eventually a shootout where the Redhawks grabbed the extra point. There's former Brantford Titan Matteo Chiavetti in the offensive zone. Now Clark the other way. Gauthier just onside. Nope. Late whistle at the Welland blue line, so play is halted. A minute 33 into the hockey game. Mentioned Alex Hall getting the start for Welland. On the other side for the Brantford Titans, it's James Gall playing game 36 this season. He is 13-18-2-1 with a .374 goals against average, save percentage of .899, and he has a trio of donuts on the season. It's a face-off win for the Junior Canadians. That pass onto the stick of Bandu. It trickled back into the Titans zone. David Buckman throws it to the right side. Chipped off the boards. It'll stay inside the Brantford line momentarily. McConnell had it in his own zone. Pass didn't connect, and that is icing against Welland. As for the Junior Canadians, they're looking for different fortunes than they had their last couple of contests. A couple of big defeats at the hand of the Fort Erie Meteors, 8-1 this past Sunday, and then a Tuesday night affair in Welland saw the Meteors go in to defeat the Junior Canadians 13-2. Including today, they've got 5 games left. They will miss the playoffs, so again, they're just looking to play spoiler the rest of the way. Port Colborne tomorrow to kick off the month of March before trips to Ayr, St. Catharines, and then they will finish off the season against Waterloo on home ice in Welland 1 week from tomorrow. Titans with just 3 left, including today. It's a trip to Port Colborne coming up Friday, and then back home here 1 week from today. The Hamilton Kilty Bees come to town. They continue to fight for their playoff lives, currently occupying the number 9 spot in the Eastern Conference. That shot will go off a stick out of play in behind James Gall. And the Titans also 2 victories away from setting a new franchise record for wins in a single season, which was set last season. They picked up win number 20 thanks to an they set the new single season record last year thanks to an Ethan Zabo overtime winner here on home ice against the Fort Erie Meteors. They got up to 20 last year, then upset the Ayr Centennials in round 1 in 7 games before falling to St. Catharines in 4 straight, the eventual Eastern Conference champions, but then fell to Chatham in the Sutherland Cup Finals. Buckman ahead. Onto the stick of Clark. He'll grab it on the right side. Clark has a man going middle. That's Chamberlain. He threw it out in front. As Wicklander was going to the goal, pass got blocked. Junior Canadians the other way. That pass got picked off, and now it's back out to neutral ice. Humphrey will send it right back in. Wide of the goal. Junior Canadians offside. They tag up and can go back on the attack. Louis Inzers through the middle. Lost the handle of the puck in the offensive zone. Stako tried to settle it down. He goes up against Caleb Frank in the corner. Quentin Kim LeMay there too. It'll get sent around the boards. Bandu will pinch in. It gets knocked in behind the Welland net. They'll look to escape their own zone, and successfully doing so is Cole Hodgson. Stako to the middle. Bandu now. Adam Stippen had that pass picked off. Stako got a stick. Just over 4 minutes gone, no score. Titans and Junior Canadians. Gall will send it around the boards to his captain Stippen. Through the middle, this is Caleb Frank on the right wing side. Frank dropped it. Takis was there. In down low, a huge hit by Adam Stippen, and he's going to get called for it. The referee didn't think the puck was there yet. So it'll be interference on Adam Stippen, and the Junior Canadians will have the first power play of the contest. Face-off win and a clear for the Titans to kick off this penalty kill. Junior Canadians sit 8th in the Eastern Conference on the power play, 15.3%. As for the penalty kill for the Titans, 77% on the season, which is which is good for 9th best in the Eastern Conference. There's a pass to the front and a nice save by Gall, and the rebound is cleared by his defense. Wicklander in the offensive zone, looking for a chance shorthanded, unable to get to the net, and the Junior Canadians will bring it out to center. Humphrey got stopped, and the Titans will clear it. 5 seconds away from the midway mark of the power play. Welland 0 for 1 in their last contest in the 13-2 loss to Fort Erie. Chiavetti goes below the goal line. Will send it off the boards. Middle of the zone, just inside the blue line. Chiavetti again, throws it down low. Pass to the far side, got blocked. Man was wide open at the side of the cage. Buckman tries to poke at the puck. Has to watch Stako in behind. Thrown to the slot. Someone looking for possession. It's the Titans successfully sending it down. 20 seconds to go in the Stippen minor for interference. That pass will miss Stako, and icing is charged to Welland here on the power play. 16 seconds left in the man advantage. Stako and Flora leading Welland in power play goals this season. Each man has 7 on the year. Quentin Kim LeMay out for this faceoff in the offensive zone. He's got 4 shorthanded goals this year. Caleb Frank moved in a little bit. It'll be one back. Takis smartly will exit the zone and try and kill the rest of the clock on this penalty. Sends it across to Bandu. Up that left side, Kim LeMay got a touch on it. Stako circles back in his own zone, stepping out of the box. We're back to 5-on-5. Stako over the blue line. Couldn't chip it past Bandu, and then Frank might have been away if the puck found him at the red line, but it got blocked. Stako again at the half wall, looks to the middle from the circle. Gall makes the save as Benjamin Mokia turned towards the net and fired a shot into the breadbasket of the Titans goaltender. The first of many games here on the second last Saturday of the GOHL regular season. Of course, we're the only ones in action currently, as we have another penalty upcoming. A hook is being called by referee Eric Robertson. He's joined by Mark Beanackers officiating the game. Justin Zimmer, Alex Visoyan are on the lines. Trivieri will head to the box, so he'll sit for 2 or less. Titans to the power play. Buckman off the face-off. Inzers back to David Buckman. He comes to Ryan Chamberlain. Top of the circle. Lost the handle of the puck. Junior Canadians can't clear it. Chamberlain, a nice job to keep it alive, at least for a second, before he's forced out to the neutral zone. Thought there could have been another hook in the offensive zone there to give the Titans a 5-on-3 advantage. The men with the armbands keep their arms at their waist, so we continue. Minute 10 left in the power play for the Titans. Buckman in across the line, forces it to Clark in the corner. Tyler Clark up top to Chamberlain. Chamberlain to David Buckman. Inzers now to Clark. He'll fire one. Save made. Rebound will ricochet to the corner. Drahoon got a stick on it, and it ends up into the netting and out of play. The Titans 1 for 3 on Thursday in that loss to Cambridge. It's the 9th best power play in the Eastern Conference at 14.7%. Penalty kill for Welland is 10th in the East at 73.5. They were successful on every kill against Fort Erie in their last contest. Connor Clark had to try and knock it out of the air, and then he took his man to the boards. Quinton Kim-LeMay up top to Mason Takis. Back to Quinton Kim-LeMay, who sends the puck wide of the cage. Comes around for Frank. Got the puck back thanks to the quick feed of Mason Takis. However, Welland will take over possession. Gets knocked down at center. They're going to say it was touched by Flora with a high stick. He couldn't touch. Takis did. Now Caleb Frank in over the line. Frank around another. He'll cut to the net, and he lost the handle, and then it trickled wide of the cage. Caleb Frank showing off the hands, looking for the game's first goal. Kim-LeMay, bouncing puck, couldn't settle down for number 12 in black. It'll get sent all the way around. Trivieri out of the box with the puck. Both teams start their day on the power play 0 for 1. Caleb Frank comes back to help out Takis. Alan Watt turns away from a forechecker. Mason Takis now through the middle. Has Caleb Frank on the right side. Gets it back from Frank, and then he couldn't find the puck. Kim-LeMay back in deep for Frank. Drahoon watches him in the corner, and then Stippen comes flying in and missed the check on Stako. Takis gets the puck back in the circle. Tried to throw it out front. That got blocked. And a penalty in behind the play as Caleb Frank got dumped just inside the Welland line. And now Stako will head to the box. Titans immediately back to the power play. Well, face off to the blocking side of the goaltender Hall. Face off win for Chamberlain. Clark tied up his man. However, the Junior Canadians were able to get possession and send it the length of the rink. Buckman ahead for Clark. Tyler Clark around one. Threw it out front. That's off a stick. Buckman in the corner. Up top, Inzers. Wicklander will drop it for Buckman. And he went to Inzers, but he couldn't keep the puck inside the line. Play halted again. Another penalty upcoming this time. Or I should say it's again to Welland, so a 5-on-3 advantage upcoming for the Brantford Titans. Luca Nardilli will join Stako in the box. Stippen gets the draw with some help from Clark. Caleb Frank up top. He'll come to Kim LeMay. LeMay fires, and getting a stick on it was Hall, and it's up into the netting and out of play.
Welland penalty number 27, Luca Nardilli, 2 minutes for tripping. Nardilli, 2 minutes for tripping, time of the penalty, 10-17. As Brantford Titans power play, powered by Redwood Energy.
Caleb Frank just inside the blue line. Works his way to the circle, tried to throw it across, pass got picked off. And the Junior Canadians get a much-needed clear. 50 seconds to go in Stako's minor. Caleb Frank in over the blue line. He'll send the puck around. Stippen did just get enough of it to slow it down. Mason Takis now. Here's Clark. Connor Clark drops it for Frank. Back to Connor Clark in the circle. Has Quinton Kim LeMay. Back to Frank. Caleb Frank now up top. Tries to drag it around one. Couldn't do it. And it's another clear for Welland. A dozen seconds left in Stako's minor. And the Titans will continue on the power play 5-on-4. Caleb Frank into the offensive zone. Sends it out in front. That'll go all the way through. Glowacki fresh onto the ice. He'll send it around. Bandu below the goal line. Scriven sent it back to Glowacki. Chipped back down low for Bandu. Up top, Quinton Kim LeMay tried to throw it across, but it's out of the zone for Caleb Frank. All out of whack on the power play are the Brantford Titans. 14 seconds away from being 0 for 3. There's a shot. Gall makes the save. Referee will tell him to play it. And it's Glowacki in behind. That'll do it for the power play. So the Titans with an extended 5-on-3 for just over 1:20. And they can't get anything going. Nardilli out of the box. From the circle, off the pad. Definitely shooting for a rebound. But luckily nobody in white was there. Sent back up top, Morrison. Looks to the net, sends it there. Got the deflection, but it went wide. Gauthier after it. Couldn't get there first, then tries to force the issue. It's into the Junior Canadian zone. Morrison lost an edge and then turned it over. Here's Chamberlain firing, and a blocker save by Hall. Inzers. Backhand pass to Buckman. Now to Gauthier. Gauthier, sharp angle shot, and Hall able to squeeze his body together to hold on to the puck. With 6:56 to go, the game remains scoreless. Point shot, Hall with the save, and we'll do it again in the same spot as David Buckman let it go from the line. Action elsewhere around the GOHL. Again, everything else will start at 7 o'clock Eastern or later here today on the final day of the month of February. That flew by. There's a deflection off the point shot. Junior Canadians look to clear, and they did as Inzer's pass ended up escaping the zone. Once the Titans are done here this afternoon, they will have their eyes set on Galt Arena Gardens in Cambridge tonight. The Air Centennials and Cambridge Redhawks will go at it at 7 o'clock. With a Brantford Titans win in any fashion, doesn't matter how they get 2 points, but combined with a win and an Air Centennials regulation loss, that would put the spread between 6th and 7th place up to 5 points, with just 2 games remaining for the Air Centennials, meaning that the Brantford Titans would officially clinch the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference, which would also set a franchise record. for the highest finish in the regular season. There's a shot. Hall makes the save, so all eyes on Cambridge as Chamberlain turns, fires, and scores. That's one way to get it started. Ryan Chamberlain makes it 1-0. 5:48 to go in the first period. Chamberlain collects his 6th goal of the season. And despite going 0 for 3 so far in the game and having a ton of opportunities on the power play, Titans able to get one 5-on-5 as the referee will come over and have a conversation with Matthew Owen for the Titans and Joey Piliteri for Welland. Those two still going at each other. Owen lost his stick, able to get it back. Takis will shoot it into the near corner. Elsewhere around the GOHL tonight, Pelham will visit Fort Erie. That is a 7 o'clock start. Happy belated birthday to the voice of the Meteors, Alec Murray. Head of the Balding in their early 20s fan club. Elsewhere, London will visit Kamoka. That is a 7:15 start. In Caledonia, it'll be the Caledon Bombers and Caledonia Corvairs starting at 7:30. Listowel will visit St. Mary's, also at 7:30, and then rounding things out, Stratford and Strathroy. Here in Brantford, Ryan Chamberlain has made it 1-0 Titans. Mentioned on his 6th of the year. Passed ahead, chance for a 2-on-1. Clark with a shot, and that's stopped by Hall, and then he tried to bank it off the goaltender, but it stayed behind the goal line. Puck turned over. Takis will have to chip it back down. Scriven after it. Taken to the wall by Morrison. Humphrey there too. Glowacki sends it to the far corner. There's Scriven. Ryan Scriven tried to go to the slot, but that got deflected back into Titan territory. Frank with an opportunity in the slot. He missed the net. Point blank chance to make it 2-0. Face-off will come down into the Titans zone. Face-off win for Welland. They'll send it back to the line. Shot gets blocked. Stippen getting tied up, and that should be interference, and it will be. As the Titans captain got held up trying to chase after the puck. So DJ Chan to the penalty box for 2 minutes or less. It'll be the fourth opportunity already in the hockey game for the Titans on the man advantage. Off the face-off, David Buckman. Here's Caleb Frank along the wall. Stako watches him. He'll backhand it back to Buckman. Kim LeMay across. Caleb Frank from the circle, and a glove save by Hall.
Welland penalty number 25, DJ Chan. 2 minutes for interference. Chan, 2 minutes for interference. Time of the penalty, 16:53. It's Brantford Titans power play is powered by Red White Energy.
Kim LeMay tried to send it across to Frank, but that hit the broken stick in that left circle. Adam Stippen below the goal line. Sends it to the middle. That is past Inzers. Buckman racing across to keep it alive. He gets around one penalty killer. Sends it to Kim LeMay. Down low, Stippen. Across. Frank waits to the middle. That got blocked, and the clear will go off the boards and out. Buckman quickly back for Frank. Titans onside. Frank with Inzers going to the goal. His shot fanned on. Inzers can't tuck it home. He just missed that the near side of the net. Kim LeMay back to Buckman. Inzers couldn't get the shot off, and then he got tied up in the slot. Kim LeMay getting a piece of the puck. Frank keeps it alive. Quinton Kim LeMay from the circle. Got the deflection, but it's up off the glass. Caleb Frank avoids the broken stick. Couldn't connect with Stippen on the pass. That should result in a clear. Stippen has other ideas as he ties up Drahoon. Stippen to the ice. Inzers fighting for possession. 21 seconds left in the power play and just under a minute and a half to go in the first period. David Buckman will backhand one in behind James Gall. That should do it for the power play. The Titans will go 0 for 4 to start their day on the man advantage. Chamberlain through the middle. At the side of the cage, toe save made by Hall. Rebound poke to the corner. Clark up top. Takis now to Watt. Back to Takis. He'll let one go, and that never made it to the net. Watt another try. Bouncing puck towards the cage will go wide. Wicklander to Clark out in front. Chamberlain was tied up. Takis to Wicklander. It was in his skates. Clark along the wall. Watt now. Top of the slot. Wicklander fires it wide. Rebound off the boards. It is swung on and missed by Clark with 21 seconds to go in the period. That should be icing, and it is. With 18.1 left and still a 1-0 Titans lead. Broken stick collected. We're ready to get things going again. Titans will control it off the face-off. Takis down low. Scriven to Watt, and he swung and missed. With half a dozen seconds left. Clark will just take it in behind James Gall, and that will do it for the first period. Ryan Chamberlain, the only goal scorer, has the Titans ahead by 1 after 20. We will step aside to be back for the second after this. Welcome back inside the Wayne Gretzky Sports Center. Period number 2 about to get underway between the Brantford Titans and Welland Junior Canadians. I'm Reese Dumaney for the second last home game of the regular season for the Brantford Titans. Ryan Chamberlain, 6th of the year, the only goal on the board. They have added assists to David Buckman and Caden Wicklander on that goal at 14-11. And that's been it. Scoring-wise, 12-5. Brantford Titans outshot the Junior Canadians in that first period. No carryover penalties into this middle frame. So we begin the second to 5-on-5. It's Papel, it's Flora in the face-off circle, and it's Flora winning it back. And now a puck up into the netting. That'll stop play just 6 seconds into the second period. And with that puck being shot from the Welland zone, the face-off will be inside. Papel gets the face-off. Capel drops it for Bandu. Through to the middle. There's a shot and they score. Just 12 seconds into the second period, the Brantford Titans have extended their lead. It is 2-0, thanks to Joey Capel's 11th goal of the year. All begins with the face-off win. You get support. And then Capel found himself all alone in the slot, and he buried it on Welland goaltender Alex Hall. Just a dozen seconds into the second. Papel will win that draw. Glowacki to Bandu. Back to Glowacki. He'll escape his zone, go off the boards. Alex Hall did come out of the net, so icing waved off. Papel tries to steal from his number 17 counterpart, Cole Hodgson. Giavetti up the right side. Dumps it in. James Gall out to play it. He'll get it away from Stako. Giavetti knocked it down. Hodgson out there along with Stako. It's a 2-on-2. I want to say battle, but they're just kind of holding each other in the corner and pinning the puck against the wall. It's now freed up. Point shot, blocked side by Gall. Capel off the boards. It didn't get out of the zone. Giavetti and Bandu battle. And a penalty called by the official down low. And this one's a 50-50 who gets the hook. It looks like it'll be Giavetti as both sticks were tied up and sort of in the air from both guys. So the Titans back to the power play for the 5th time in the game. They are 0 for 4. Scriven will win that face-off. Louis Inzers to David Buckman. Gauthier goes back to Buckman up top. Back to Mateo Gauthier. Buckman from the point, and it'll ricochet to Louis Inzers. Stops. Inzers to the circle, sends it down low, then goes to the front. Scriven now on his backhand, off the boards up to Buckman. Across to Gauthier. Near side, Inzers. Him and Clark got sort of tangled up, or their paths got crossed, so the puck will end up in the Titans zone. Buckman flying through the middle into the offensive zone to his backhand, and he lost the handle of the puck. Inzer's at the line, able to keep it alive momentarily before Welland sends it down.
Titans goal hits a run for the season. Scorer number 19, Joey Capel. The assistant number 16, Isaac Bandu. And number 17, Tyson Papel. Time to go 12 seconds into the second period. That's Capel's one for the season for Bandu and Papel at 12 seconds.
35 seconds to go in the power play. Caleb Frank in over the line to the far circle. And he just backhanded it to the half wall, and the junior Canadians send it down. Caleb Frank through the middle. Into the offensive zone. He'll slow down. Stop along the wall. Around one. That was Hodson. He threw it to the middle. Kim LeMay off a stick. And it's into the netting, out of play. 3 seconds to go on the Chiavetti minor. Welland needs another player on the ice. Unless they want to go 5-on-3 for 3 seconds. It'll be Chan to come on. Hodson will take the draw against Kim LeMay. Caleb Frank lost the handle of the puck. It squirts out to the neutral zone, and 3 junior Canadians are ahead. Hodson dropped it for Chiavetti, and he fired it just wide. Stippen ahead to Kim LeMay. Quinton Kim LeMay in that left circle. Looks to the middle, sends it there. That was Caleb Frank flying in. Spit it out, Reese. English. And icing now charged to Welland. Wow, that was a solid few seconds by me right there. Just over 3.5 minutes into the second, 2-0 Titans. Looking for win number 20 on the season to match a franchise record for wins in a single season. Hodson over the line, forced to his backhand. Tried to throw it out front. That hit a couple of legs. Clark now threw it to the middle. Couldn't connect with Buckman. And that pass will have enough for icing against Brantford. 6 seconds away from 4 minutes gone. Buckman in the corner, goes around for Bandu. Ahead, Ryan Chamberlain was met by a forechecker. Just got it out to the neutral zone before it's shot back in on goal. Gall left it for Buckman. Bandu on the left side, now works his way to the middle. Bandu tried to stick handle around a couple of defenders, couldn't do it. Nardilli dumps it in. Buckman first one there. Nardilli back in behind the cage. Backhand centering pass got blocked. Chamberlain out from the corner, has to avoid the official. Made the play to Clark though. Bandu now to Buckman. Buckman through the middle to Chamberlain, and he got his head up just in time. Still absorbed a check. Here's Clark following up. His shot got blocked. Threw it again to the middle, but nobody was home wearing black. Picking that pass off was Humphrey. He'll try to get around Glowacki. Humphrey to the corner. Pinned against the wall as Glowacki will throw him to the ice. Gauthier in the corner. Has a ton of time to decide what he'd like to do. He'll skate it out to his own line. Pass got blocked. Humphrey past Inzers. Stako firing. He scores. And it's back to a 1-goal game. Igor Stako makes it 2-1 with 14:35 to go in the second. The team leader in goals for Welland gets number 22 on the season. And he's got his club within a goal. Just Welland's second shot of the second period. Morrison had his pass deflected off a stick. That was Clark getting in the way. Here's the goal scorer, Stako. He'll chip it to the far boards. Clark, first one there. Chipped it for Chiavetti. It was over his stick. To the line, Takis had to retreat. Sends it across to Watt. Watt back to Mason Takis. He'll move over the red line. Mateo Gauthier now. He got stick checked, and the puck sent back into the neutral zone and into Titan territory. Just over 6 minutes gone in the second. Here's Ryan Scriven through the middle. Scriven around Drahoon. He'll try to cut to the net, and a quick shot off the rush is stopped by Hall.
Welland goes for number 61, Igor Steko. The assist number 89, Alexander Mokya. And number 16, Matthew Humphrey. Come to all 5 minutes, 45 seconds into the second period. That's Steko, Mokya, and Humphrey at 5:25.
Van Du up the left side. He'll chip it to the far corner. Clark a little bit late on the scene. Clearing attempt is off of Pappel's stick and out of play as McConnell tried to send it out of his own zone. Mokia and Humphrey get the assists on Stako's 22nd of the season. Welland to win that face-off in their own zone. It'll be chipped up the boards. Caleb Frank is right there, though. His backhander, intended for Stippen, got picked off. Senior Canadians with numbers in the circle. The Titans try to turn it back the other way, and it ends up in the blue paint. Referee waves it off as James Gall was down on his stomach to try and keep it out. It was somewhere underneath him. And it remains 2-1. Off the face-off, Welland tries to work it to the middle. That got blocked. Puck does just stay in the Titans zone. Caleb Frank lost the handle at his own line. Inzers back to Glowacki. Up ahead. They're going to wave off icing. Hall around. Caleb Frank is there to grab the puck. Frank, around one, kicks it to himself in the circle. Forced to the corner, and then he got knocked to the ice. And here comes Morrison, Stippen on the back check. And Stippen's going to get a penalty for taking Morrison to the boards. Or they're actually going to call it on Frank. So away from the play, Caleb Frank gets 2 minutes for slashing. Only reason I thought it was Stippen because immediately as he laid that hit, the referee's arm went in the air. So well into the power play for the second time. They'll look to get things even at 2. But not before a backhander is sent down and to clear off the faceoff by the Titans. Chan being watched by Clark. Over the stick of Flora at the Titan blue line. Takis there. Flora took the puck away from him. And now it's rimmed around by Watt. And the Junior Canadians once again having to tag up and get back on the attack. Watt cleared it out. Fortunate bounce for Wicklander. Wicklander works one-on-one through his own legs, and then he got hauled down. Goes right into the goaltender. It remains 2-1 with 11.5 to go.
Titans penalty number 24, Caleb Frank. 2 minutes for slashing. Frank, 2 minutes for slashing. Time of penalty, 7:42.
Stako through the middle. Gains the blue line. Morrison off a deflection. It goes all the way around. Drahoon able to keep it alive for a second before Clark races ahead shorthanded. Clark Wait, shoots. That got blocked. Buckman tried to follow up, but the rebound got knocked away, and back come the Junior Canadians with two. Giavetti to Stako, and he couldn't get a piece of it, and then it went back to the side of the cage, and Gall got the glove on it to halt play. 18 seconds left in Franks Minor, 10:35 to go in the second. Titans still on top, 2-1. Chamberlain, the lone goal in the first, and then Capel and Stako have both scored here in the second. Welland with the face-off win. Point shot stopped by Gall, and we'll do it again in the same circle. Titans with the lead in the season series, this being game number 4 of 4 between these two clubs. Titans are 2-0-0-1, with the Junior Canadians winning the last contest in a shootout. Papel in on the forecheck. Owen forces a turnover. He'll shoot one, and Hall might have got a piece of that with the glove or that left pad. Either way, it stays out. He definitely just got a piece of that one off the stick of Buckman, and then a deflection from Owen in front is stopped by Alex Hall. Penalty is over. We're back to 5-on-5. 3 seconds away from the midway mark of regulation time. Chipped out to center. Inzer's back for it. Christian Glowacki now works his way through the middle, out of his own end, across to Clark. Clark in over the line. Tried to shoot at the top of the circle, but that got interrupted. Puck did just escape the zone, so the Titans have to tag up. They do so. They'll go back on the attack. Backhand pass to the middle by Trivieri, connects. Shot from the line, save made by Gall. Another try, and Gall slid across to make that save too. Trivieri down low, lost the handle of the puck. Still in the area code though. Glowacki now takes a bump from Trivieri. Trivieri sends Glowacki to the ice. Penalty upcoming as the official down low has his arm in the air, and it looks like he's just taking one. It'll be a rough against Christian Glowacki. So he'll be the only man to the penalty box. And the Junior Canadians back to the man advantage. Somebody jumped. So we'll do it over again. 9 minutes, 9 seconds to go in the second. Pass all the way across, didn't connect, so Welland forced back out to the neutral zone.
Titans penalty number 7, Christian Glowacki, 2 minutes for roughing. Glowacki, 2 minutes for roughing, time of penalty, 10:51.
That's off of Drahoon's stick. Flora was there too, and then Wicklander had to duck as the puck was headed at his dome. He's no worse for wear. Morrison reverses it back. Nobody was behind the cage. So Welland might have to start over as two Titans are on the forecheck, Chamberlain and Wicklander. Morrison now with a backhander deep. Nobody in white on attack mode to get that puck as we have an injured Junior Canadian along the far side of the ice, so the officials will blow things dead. 58 seconds into the power play and 8:11 to go in the second. So this will result in a face-off in the Welland zone. So maybe something can get done shorthanded here for the Titans. Scriven with a face-off win. Bandu will work it to the corner. He goes in behind that Welland cage. Turned back by Chiavetti. And he'll work his way ahead. Chiavetti through the middle. Chips it into the offensive zone. Junior Canadians will look to get set up. In behind the cage, Kurtanik. Chan with a shot. That got blocked off the stick of Quinton Kim LeMay, and then he forced a turnover to Scriven. Quinton Kim LeMay poked away from him. Tried to send it to the middle, and now he'll send it in deep to kill off more clock. Chiavetti has to avoid McConnell, and that drew the Junior Canadians offside, and now they send it out of play, so the faceoff will be in the neutral zone. A dozen seconds left in Glowacki's minor for roughing. Titans with an 18-13 shot advantage in the game. However, Welland out shooting Brantford 8-6 here in the middle frame. The officials are going to have a conversation about where this faceoff should be. So it'll be just outside the Titan zone, far side of the ice here at the Gretzky Center. It's a clean win for Welland. However, Morrison has to chase it back into his own zone. Tack stopped that pass. Drahoon at the red line. Tack is still there too, and he'll send it back into Welland territory. Glowacki fresh out of the box. He'll cut to the cage as he sent one off the side of the net. Hodgson will head back up ice. Hodgson gained the red line and sent it in. He'll go chase after it. Tack got there first. Now Alan Watt. Watt looks ahead. He'll come near side to Stippen. Off his skate into the O zone. Watt will activate himself at the half wall. Up top, Capel with a one-timer save made. Rebound is there, and Hall finds it after a second shot from Clark out in front. 6:32 to go in the second. Titans still on top by 1. Buckman knocks it down at the line, has his man. Clark in front was just a little bit late getting to that puck as he got a pass from Wicklander. Mini 2-on-1 down low for the Titans. Now both teams will battle for it along the wall. Being pressed against the boards. Freed up, Wicklander. Buckman fires, Hall the save. Rebound bounced around the front of the net. And it'll get cleared by Trivieri. Piliteri left it for Trivieri. Sharp angle try off a stick. Buckman with a backhander. Now he'll get the puck back. Gives it to Chamberlain. Ryan Chamberlain opened the scoring back in the first. Wicklander tried to go back for number 14 in black. They couldn't connect. Clark made a nice pass. Chamberlain in the slot, and Hall might have got a piece of that as it went up off the glass. Takis fires. Rebound over the stick of Wicklander. Inzer's back for it. He'll go over the blue line. Now over center into the offensive zone. Inzer still with the puck. He'll drive right to the net and sent the puck out the far side. Glowacki turns on the Jets to keep it alive. Out in front, Kim LeMay fires it just high, and the rebound cleared by the Junior Canadians. Puck will roll down the ice, and that is icing against Welland with 4:59 left in the second. More and more chances starting to come the Titans' way as we're into the last 5 minutes of this second. Off the glass and out. Glowacki knocked it down. Louis Inzers now back to Glowacki. Caleb Frank chipped it ahead to Kim LeMay. Passes it to Stippen, and he just directed it wide. Turned into a 2-on-1 for the Titans. However, they could not convert. Humphrey takes the check from Adam Stippen, who's thrown his weight around a few times in this game. Chipped ahead and turned over. Humphrey got knocked down. Puck at the side of the cage and on edge and sent to Frank. Caleb Frank has Stippen driving middle. Frank will drop it for Kim LeMay. Kim LeMay to the backhand, and he got knocked down as he made his way through the middle of the ice. Kim LeMay at the side. Takis. Frank couldn't handle the pass, and it's chipped out into the Titans zone. Takis back to retrieve it. Caleb Frank, near side to Stippen. Titans just onside at the line. Tried to send it back to Caleb Frank. That's off the stick and then off the glass. Shot attempt gets blocked. Back out to center for Takis. He'll back up into his own zone. Takis back across to Watt. Off of Scriven's stick. Humphrey couldn't pick it up along the near wall, so Takis will backhand it back across to Watt. Back to Mason Takis. Over the red line, around another junior Canadian. Takis sends it wide of the net. That's off the glass, and it comes out to the neutral zone. Alan Watt through the middle into the O-zone. Watt fires, and a glove save by Hall. And now Watt tying things up with a junior Canadian in front. It was Matthew Humphrey that got knocked to the ice. He was looking for a penalty on Watt. He'll head to the bench, and his team will win that face-off in their own zone. Off of Chiavetti's stick. Scriven with a backhand pass to Bandu. David Buckman. He'll work his way through the middle, and then it got knocked off his stick just inside the Welland line. Bandu retreats. Off the boards to Clark. Connor Clark avoids a couple of forecheckers. Clark out to center. Couldn't get through a couple of junior Canadians. It just sat there, so Bandu takes advantage. Here's Gauthier trying a backhander. That got blocked. Scriven now. He'll let one go, and it trickled through to Hall. And he'll get on top of it before Gauthier's stick could get freed up. 2 minutes, 13 seconds away from the second intermission. Still 2-1 Titans on top. Second last Saturday of the regular season in the GOHL. Face-off win for the Titans. Wicklander was in the area. It's out to the neutral zone where Chamberlain got a piece of it. Louis Inzers across. Up that right side. Pass got picked off from Clark. Intended target was Chamberlain, and now Clark will try and get to the puck first. Couldn't do it. In the neutral zone, Inzers will dump it in. Titans will go in on the attack. Hall will leave it for his defense. Trivieri on the right wing side. And that goes off the crossbar as Gall lost track of that puck. Trivieri trying to use Inzers as a screen and did so successfully, just rang it off the crossbar. Takis off the face-off. Alan Watt. Back to Mason Takis. Ahead to Wicklander. His touch pass to Chamberlain. Chamberlain with Clark. Chamberlain will shoot, and Hall squeezes the arm to his midsection to keep the puck out and keep it 2-1. Chamberlain in search for his second of the day. Face-off win for Papel. Capel with a shot. Kick save by Hall. Up top, Takis across to Watt. Purposely wide off the end boards. Matthew Ohm now. Bank pass to Takis. Mason Takis walks the line. And he'll get the puck back.
Lost a minute of play in the second period.
Takis pinned against the wall. Capel looking to come in and help. Freed up, so now Welland will clear. Owen keeps it on the opposite side of center. Morrison now drops it for his partner. Kicked into the Titan zone, right to Mason Takis. Across to Alan Watt. Watt ahead, that's off of Capel's stick, so icing waved off. Owen on the forecheck, knocked away from him. Buckman fresh onto the ice, and he's got the puck in the neutral zone. Leaves it for Bandu. Isaac Bandu into the O-zone, around one, kicks it to his stick, throws it to the slot, and Capel was just late on the scene, or else he might have had a tap in. 8 seconds left in the period. Clark back to his own zone. We'll just send it across for Buckman, and that will do it for period number 2. It is the Titans still ahead by 1. It's 2-1 after 40 minutes of play here at the Gretzky Center. We'll step aside and be back for the third after this.
Fans, score after 40 minutes of play. The Brantford Titans 2, the Welland Junior Canadians 1. Shots on goal in that second period by Brantford 15 for a 2-period total.
Welcome back inside the Wayne Gretzky Sports Center for period number 3 between the Brantford Titans and Welland Junior Canadians. Glad to have you along with us. I'm Reese Dumaney for what the Titans hope is just the final 20. Junior Canadians either would love to get to overtime or potentially win it in regulation. So we'll see what happens. It's a 1-goal game. No carryover penalties into the third period. So we start the final frame 5-on-5, and we get our first whistle 22 seconds into the third period. Chamberlain scoring in the first, and then Capel and Stako trading markers in the second, and that's been it for scoring. Watt with a backhand pass across to Mason Takis. He'll just chip it in to the Junior Canadians zone. The Titans out shooting Welland 27-13 after 2 periods. That shot will go wide of the cage. Scriven will box his man out. Clark along the wall. His pass intended for Takis gets picked off. Humphrey was in the middle hoping for a pass. It never came. And Welland is forced to just dump it in and begin a change. Clark. Intended for Stippen. Through the middle. Scriven in the O-zone. Got tied up as it slid right to the goaltender Hall. And he gets a glove on top of it. This will be it this weekend for the Brantford Titans. They're back at it on Friday in Port Colborne before welcoming Hamilton for the regular season finale. Kilty Bees need all the points they can get. At this point in the regular season, they currently sit in 9th place, 3 points back of the Caledonia Corvairs, so they're hoping that Caledon can do them a favor and defeat the Corvairs tonight. Kilty Bees losing yesterday in St. Catharines. 3-0. Caledon and Caledonia playing each other on back-to-back nights, and that one yesterday started in the second period. That was the game that got stopped earlier on in the year. It was because of a dirty play. I'm not going to mention the name, not going to mention the team. For anyone that wants to do any research, you can do that. The only thing I will tell you, it was between Caledon and Caledonia. And then everyone else can do the research from there. As that goes through to the middle and out the far side to Mateo Gauthier. So Caledonia ended up winning that game 6-3 as Gauthier was about 20 feet offside before Caleb Frank entered the zone with the puck. The remaining schedule for Hamilton this season, they just have 2 more. At home against Fort Erie on Thursday, and then here next Saturday against the Brantford Titans. As for the Caledonia Corvairs, who enter play today 3 points up on Hamilton. Caledon tonight, Caledon Friday, and they host Cambridge on Saturday. So all it would take is a win of any kind, I should say, for the Caledonia Corvairs for them to punch their ticket to the postseason and officially eliminate Hamilton from playoff contention. Sort of running into a situation that the Brantford Titans had with Caledonia last year. At the end of the regular season, it's almost like whoever made the schedule forgot that Caledonia and Brantford had to play each other 5 times. So it was 3 straight meetings between the Titans and Corvairs near the end of the season last year. Little different because of that game that got stopped. As the point shot was stopped, Chamberlain looking to get the rebound on goal, but it was a bouncing puck. Buckman through to the middle. had to kick it back to himself, lost the handle. Chamberlain now in the offensive zone, but you've got Caledonia and Caledon playing last night to finish that game. You've got them going at it tonight in Caledonia, and then the two teams will do it again on March 6th in Caledon. That's 3 straight games for Caledonia where they face the Bombers, and like I said, all it would take is a win of any kind tonight to officially knock the Hamilton Kilty Bees out of playoff contention, as it would be up to a 5-point spread between 8th and 9th with just 2 games remaining for the 9th place Hamilton Kilty Bees. And then with that win, Caledonia would also move within a point of Ayr for 7th place, again, depending on what the Ayr Centennials do in Cambridge tonight. So things still very undecided at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. One thing I can tell you, with a Brantford win of any kind and an Ayr loss tonight, that would officially put Brantford into the number 6 seed in the Eastern Conference heading into the postseason, the highest finish in franchise history. Clark turning from the circle. He gets stopped by Hall. Like I mentioned, a lot of eyes will be on Galt Arena Gardens tonight. Clark in front, just tucked it wide of the cage. Back up top to Bandu. That's a 7 o'clock start in Cambridge, by the way. On this side of Cambridge, too, as Chamberlain fires one off a defenseman. Buckman thought Bandu was still at the near point, but he had vacated as more of a precaution in case the puck got turned over. Off of Buckman. Wicklander stopped it. Drahoon now turns it the other way. He'll fire it from center ice on goal. Gall steered it away. Bandu back in behind for Buckman. Ahead for Stippen. And they're going to say he was offside, so the faceoff will be in the Titan zone as the pass came from David Buckman along that far wall. "13 seconds away from the 4-minute mark of the third. Still 2-1 Titans. Face-off win for Welland. Humphrey in the circle. Couldn't get around to second man. That was Takis getting in the way. And now Scriven sends it to Stippen. Tried to go back to the middle for Scriven. That got intercepted. Battle for it in the corner. That went off Scriven right to Adam Stippen. To the middle for Clark. Pass couldn't connect. And now it's off of Takis' skate right to Watt. Watt across to Stippen. To the near corner. Backhander to the line. Watt sends it in to Clark. Clark in front to Stippen, right through his legs. Or else he would have had an open look on the goal. Stippen checks his man from behind. Now he's got the puck. Ahead to Scriven on the right wing side. Ryan Scriven will look to cut to the net. Tries to chip it over the shoulder of Hall, but just missed the net. Drahoon tied up Stippen. Clark bumps his man to the ice. That was McConnell. Flora still with the puck. Now lost the handle as Clark was still tied up with McConnell here on the near side of the ice. McConnell a little bit slow to get up, but he'll stay out there. Step into the near side, right at his own bench. Clark picks up the puck over center. Clark forced wide, tries to cut to the cage, and a shot on goal is stopped by Hall. That was Quinton Kim-LeMay going to the net. Inzer's shot gets deflected away by the goaltender. Glowacki just kept it onside. Backhand pass to Gauthier, interrupted. Kim-LeMay couldn't settle it down, and the Junior Canadians will clear. Puck is on edge, and that is icing against Welland. Talk about the Titans trying to lock in the 6th seed. Really still undetermined who their opponent will be. However, there's a really good shot. It's the Fort Erie Meteors. They sit 6 points behind St. Catharines for second place in the Eastern Conference. Fort Erie, however, with 2 games in hand, albeit St. Catharines wins out and Fort Erie does as well. That's still St. Catharines finishing in second place. And Fort Erie finishing third. So it would be the Meteors and Titans in round one of the playoffs if that were the case. St. Catharines, although they're trying to see if they can catch down Cambridge. Just 4 points separating those two teams, and each team with 2 games left. So it would, of course, go to the tie break if Cambridge were to lose their next 2 and St. Catharines were to win their next 2. Gauthier off the face-off, couldn't handle the puck. Tries to take it back, was unsuccessful. There's a backhander deep. Ball out to play it. Almost turned it over. As Inzers, in behind his own cage, had a little bit of trouble. Hodgson up top. Drahoon will shoot. And a save made by Gall. Morrison pinching in. Works behind the goal line. Chases after it near corner. Hodgson up top. He'll shoot. One blocker saved by Gall. Looked like he had a little bit of trouble with that. Trying to see the puck around a couple of bodies. Hodgson with a good stick check. But it's taken away from him by Gauthier. Saucer pass to Frank. Gauthier driving middle. He gets the puck. But it just slid out of his way. Good job by Frank to try and slide it back there. But the stick got tied up. Kim LeMay now fires. And Hall makes the save. Papel will get kicked out. Matthew Owen to come in to take the face off. Flora for Welland, and it's Flora winning it. Titans are offside. They do tag up, go back in on the attack. Stako turns the puck over. Papel tried to fire it back in. That's off McConnell. Luckily, he is right by his own bench, so he has to crawl back. Hopefully, he can continue. Pass almost turned over. Went under Owen's stick. Van Duyn his own end. Buckman now up to Papel. Off the boards. Past Owen. And then off of Stako's stick back into Titan territory. Van Duyn. Through the middle. Van Duyn lost the handle. Shakes the hand like he took a slash. We play on. Owen. Blocker save made. Rebound was there for a second. Owen got a stick on it again. Back to the slot area. Capel looking for number 2. He gets knocked down. And back come the Junior Canadians. 3-on-2. Grjanik gets knocked down, and that's going to get called. So Mason Takis is guilty of a trip. And the Junior Canadians back to the power play. 12-12 to go in the third period in a 1-goal game. Welland 0 for 3 so far on the power play. This is Flora in the slot. Poked back to the line. Drahoon back to Flora. He'll go back to Drahoon up top. Near side, Morrison couldn't handle it off the boards, and Clark will now kick it out to center. Can he get away? He can't, as Flora won the race to the puck. Chamberlain trying to force the issue. Back to Alan Watt, and he'll go to Glowacki, who will kill precious time off the clock.
Titans penalty number 23, Mason Takis. 2 minutes for tripping. Takis, 2 minutes for tripping. Time of the penalty, 7:48.
Face-off win by the Junior Canadians in their own zone. Just over 30 seconds gone in their 4th power play opportunity. Hodgson over the red line, leaves it for Chiavetti. He'll rim it around the boards. Grjanik down low. Inzers is there. Tied up with Hodgson. Chiavetti and Buckman also join the fun. Inzers gets the puck. and he will send it down with a minute left in the Tachus Minor. Chamberlain from Buckman and Wicklander in the first. Capel from Bandu and Papel in the second, and then Stako following that from Mokia and Humphrey. And that's been it. McConnell throws it all the way across. Kerchanik gave it away. Kim LeMay takes it. Here's Wicklander now. Caden Wicklander drives wide and then tries to cut to the middle, knocked away from him. And Hodgson skates the other way. Hodgson will chip it past Buckman. Gall out to play it. Kerchanik throws it on net. A little bit of a knuckler. Knocked away. Kerchanik again. Tries to send it to the far side. That's picked off by Kim LeMay. And then a chip pass ahead to Scriven. But he got tied up from behind. Stick breaks, and he has to come to the bench. James Gall in behind. Titans have all kinds of time as the junior Canadians are in the middle of a change. As the penalty has expired, we're back to 5-on-5, just under 10 to go. And a 2-1 Titans lead. Glowacki chips it off the boards. Back out to the neutral zone. Watt will send it back in. Caleb Frank in the corner. Avoids the broken stick. In behind the goal line. Does his best to shield the puck. Took a slash. We continue. Ahead to Stako. Has Humphrey in the middle. That's off a skate. Kim LeMay back the other way. Has Frank behind him. Drops it for him. Frank fires and a blocker save by Alex Hall. 38 shots for the Brantford Titans in the game. Hall has stopped 36. Exactly 9 minutes to play in the third period. As Chamberlain got knocked down in the middle of the ice. Caleb Frank takes exception, and he's going to get a penalty for it. Humphrey knocking down Chamberlain. Caleb Frank not a fan. He'll get escorted off the ice. And Welland will head to the power play. It's just a matter of determining how long. The referees will have a conversation across the ice. Adam Stippen will get an explanation from the official, or is getting it as we currently speak. So just 2 minutes up on the board for Caleb Frank. Mike Christian getting an explanation. Actually, pretty well the entire Titans bench getting an explanation from Eric Robertson. So they're going to change the 2 to a 4. So an extended power play here for Welland. Still down by just 1 goal, and it'll be Mateo Gauthier to serve the penalty. Off the face-off, it'll be rimmed around. Titans can't clear it, though. Junior Canadians keep it alive. Backhanded in by Chiavetti. Buckman is there, and he will send it down the ice. Stippen in the neutral zone. Fires it right back. 30 seconds gone, and the 4-minute penalty to Caleb Frank. Turned over in the Welland zone. Stippen's just going to backhand one to Mason Tachus. He's got Watt and gives it to him. Alan Watt goes back to Mason Tachus. Backhands one up the wall. Stippen swung and missed, but still got it out. The job gets completed. Givetti with a backhand pass to the far wall. Stako swung and missed for strike one. Knocked down by Stako. And play stopped because of the high stick. So a neutral zone face-off upcoming. 2:56 left in the Frank penalty. 7:45 to go in the third.
Titans penalties number 24, Caleb Frank, a 4-minute double minor for roughing and a 10-minute misconduct. That's Caleb Frank, 4 minutes for roughing and a 10-minute misconduct. Time of the penalties, 11:10.
So 4-10 for Frank. Gall has to come up big as Humphrey was right in front of the cage. And now he knocked his man down, so that'll get rid of the power play. And if you're Louis Inzers, you try to hang on to possession for as long as possible. Get some sort of power play after the second portion of Frank's double minor gets completed. Buckman took a whack at it. The Junior Canadians will touch up. So we'll play 4-on-4 for a full 2 minutes. And then a 7-second power play to follow for Welland. Some extra ice out there available. Flora looks to take advantage. His shot is stopped by the right pad of James Gall. Chiavetti, the only man in the corner, sends it out to Flora. His shot got blocked. Steppen will try to go the other way. He got stick checked, though, by Flora. Chiavetti now with it at the circle. Sharp angle shot is stopped by James Gall.
Welland penalty number 16, Matthew Humphrey, 2 minutes for tripping. Humphrey, 2 minutes for tripping. Time of penalty, 13:04.
Scriven in the neutral zone. His backhand pass taking him back the other way. Chan got over the line, but that's about it. Takis ahead. And Scriven was offside because the pass got deflected, so he'll tag up. Capel on the forecheck. Chiavetti up the left side. Looks to the front. Nobody was there, so he'll take it around. Up top, Gall the save, and he directs the rebound out of his own zone as Chiavetti will now send it back in. Four on four for another 44 seconds. Scriven fanned on the shot. Morrison with a backhander off the glass. He'll get it back from Stako. Morrison with a ton of real estate ahead of him. Stako on the left side. Had a little bit of trouble with it at the Titans bench. Forced to go back to Hodgson. Stako. His pass picked off by David Buckman. Isaac Bandu will leave it along the near boards for David Buckman. Buckman skates ahead. Now cuts to the middle. Fires one just wide of the cage. Tries to chip it back out in front as one penalty is over. And now Chiavetti back out onto the ice after serving the double minor to Caleb Frank. Here's a backhander off the post, and it did squeak across the goal line. It'll go as an even strength goal, and we're tied. Stako with his second of the game gets us even at 2. It barely got over. But the referee with a very emphatic goal call at the side of the cage lets everyone know that we're tied. Four and a half minutes to go in the third. Off the deflection, Mokia sent it to the front, picked off. He'll try again, and he got a deflection. Gall was sharp there, making the save. Inzers tapped it in behind. That's off the referee's skate. Kim LeMay had trouble with it. Rivieri. Wicklander ahead. Here's Clark. Clark shoots, save made, rebound cleared away as Wicklander was coming up the left wing side. Able to turn it back. Clark. Wicklander tied up from behind. Kim LeMay shooting as he went down. That's in behind. Inzers moves in. Lost the handle of the puck. And here comes Trivieri. All alone in the O-zone. Gall will make the glove save. And he'll hang on for a face-off. Watt through the middle, ahead to Capel. Capel's got one of the two Titans goals in this game. It was his 11th of the year, scored 12 seconds into the second period. Takis moves in from the point, tried to send it to Watt. Second try, he did. Deflected from the point shot, it went wide. That'll get chipped off the window and out to the neutral zone, back into Titan territory. Takis comes to Watt on the near side. Alan Watt back to Mason Takis. Head to Matthew Owen. His pass was behind Joey Capel. 2 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the third. We're all tied at 2. Dump in got fanned on. Owen with a pass intended for Scriven. It was out of his reach. Stippen fresh onto the ice. Bouncing puck. Scriven tried to leave it for Clark as that hit a stick. Hodgson now in behind his own cage. All the way around for Stako, who's now on Hattie watch. Hodgson to Stako. Igor Stako into the offensive zone, knocked away by Bandu. Nice job by number 16 in black. Humphrey took a bump from Stippen. Backhanded off the linesman and right to David Buckman. Buckman with a backhander to the middle. Chan got a piece of it, not enough. To the far side, Buckman ahead to Stippen. Two Titans are ahead. Adam Stippen sends it in behind the cage. Scriven grabs it off the boards. In the corner, Clark. Up top, Bandu. Tried to fire it through Humphrey, couldn't, and now the Junior Canadians are away with a 3-on-1. Humphrey, goal with one stop, and then it trickled wide of the cage. Wasn't really a shot, more of a carom off a stick, and then it just went right to the pad of Gall. However, tense moments there for the Titans. With 72 seconds to go. Wicklander a one-timer, and that'll go wide. Giavetti slow to get up. Looks like he had a knee-on-knee collision. Takis finds Wicklander along the near boards. Wicklander stops. Gets started again. Below the goal line, Caden Wicklander still with the puck, still on his backhand too. He'll leave it. Takis into the corner. Throws it out front. Got it off the skate of Kim LeMay, but it trickled wide. 30 seconds to go in the third period. Drahoon stopped it. Gauthier punched it right back in, and then it's knocked out to Alan Watt. He tries to settle the bouncing puck down, rims it around the boards for Mason Takis. Hall stops it at the side of his cage with 8 seconds to go. Quick pass ahead. Buckman will take it. Bandu will pass it ahead to Gauthier, but the horn will sound, and we are headed to overtime. Stako's second of the day gets us even at 2. And we will go to OT for the second straight day here at the Gretzky Center. We'll step aside and come back for the extra frame after this. Overtime about to get underway. Goaltenders have swapped ends. And we play 3-on-3 for the second straight night here at the Gretzky Center. David Buckman with all kinds of speed. He'll chip it off the end glass. It's Clark in the near corner, trying to fight off Hodgson. Up top to David Buckman. Quickly moved it to Scriven. Out in front to Clark, and he just missed. Didn't get a ton on the shot, but it just trickled wide of the net. Here's Scriven now. Finds Buckman. Buckman on the backhand, and Hall makes the save. He stopped 39 of them through 60, and he's got his first one here in overtime. Flora gets around Buckman. It'll trickle below the goal line. He's watched by Scriven. Humphrey now up top, and retreating to the neutral zone is Cole Hodgson. Both teams will at least get one fresh set of legs onto the ice. Titans will try to get a second and a third, so Kim LeMay and Wicklander are now on. Hodgson has Flora behind him and drops it. Flora. A little bit of a weird shot as it got deflected on the way through. James Gall stayed with it. Just a minute 8 into overtime. We get our first whistle. Each team 0 for 6 on the power play this afternoon. Mason Takis hangs out in behind James Gall. Caden Wicklander on the right wing side. Wicklander bursts the speed, sends it out front, and Kim LeMay's shot ricocheted wide. He'll retreat back out to the neutral zone. Back to Mason Takis. Takis around Stako. In the circle, Takis in behind the cage, had to avoid Morrison. As it's once again back out into the neutral zone. Wicklander just inside his own blue line. Backhand pass to Takis. Back to Caden Wicklander. He'll grab it off the boards. Wicklander from the left circle. He cuts to the front. Through the legs, he scores! Oh my goodness, it's a highlight reel goal. Caden Wicklander with the game winner exactly 2 minutes into overtime. And the Brantford Titans have matched their franchise record for wins in a single season. They get the job done against Welland and pick up the extra point here on a Saturday afternoon. Caden Wicklander with a highlight reel goal to finish things off. And the Titans win it 3-2. We've just got 2 more of these in the regular season. one in Port Colborne, one back here 1 week from today against Hamilton. We'll have it for you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Titans 3, Junior Canadians 2. Thanks so much for tagging along with us here on a Saturday afternoon.